So this is a training video for facilitators, co-creators that are ready to facilitate. So at the moment, the way that we're doing it is that I'm actually putting people in front of co-creators. So what that means is that some people are bringing some family and friends and a handful or maybe a couple of people, but I'm bringing people, be it people that have been around for a while or people that are just ready to start telling the story. So it's still a training phase that you're in. So you're learning. So you're not expected to know it all. You're in a training phase. But instead of it being that I'm going to be breathing down your neck and shadowing you for the whole of the process, I'm just going to be introducing you for the first couple of sessions, helping you to remember and to warm up. So in order for me to not keep on doing that individually, I'm doing this recording so that it's going to help you in your space of training. The first thing that we do, which I haven't put up on here, and hopefully you will be able to see this screen, is that we take people, the very first thing that we do is we go through the little advert which is on the Including You page. So the Including You formula page here, we go through this process in terms of, let's see if we can do it. We'll just refresh the page and see if it does it. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll have to record this again. So we go to the includingyouformula.com page. So that's a familiar page that everybody goes to, signs up on. So that's on screen as soon as, let me just stop and then share again. So this is the first thing that we all start with. So we arrive on the dotted time, and we try and make sure that we arrive on time is really important. And then we share our screen, we make sure that the sound is on at the bottom on Zoom. So the Zoom comes up, it says share, and on the left-hand part, there's a box to tick so that the speaker is playing. And we just sit and that plays for 3 minutes. So we've got 3 minutes to calm ourselves, to make sure that we're grounded, to make sure that we've got a drink, that we've been to the toilet. We've got 3 minutes to do all that. This is behind the scenes training. And then we sit and just put your feet on the ground and just hold that space. Just pull your energy back in and just be calm. The music on the recording helps you to do that as well. So it helps you just to arrive and to be relaxed. Okay, so once that has played through, you then switch over to the screen. Hopefully you're going to see that on the screen. You switch over to the screen of Tell Your Story Blueprint. Now, the good thing about this is you share your screen, so you have the whole screen on. What you do is welcome to Tell Your Story Blueprint. That's it. This is part of the Read, Write and Publish series. And let me introduce you. This Tell Your Story, so there's very little dialogue in between. And the reason for that is because everything's there on the screen. So you read out these. If there's somebody in the community who you know, who is familiar, then just say, you might say to them, could you read out the poem section, Anthea, or could you read out this part? I try not to allow people who have not had the experience at this stage, because they're just arriving into the space, just relaxing into the space. They're just coming here to listen. So I don't invite people until we've got into the one-liners. So it's really clearly defined what I'm asking somebody to do. But also as well, I'm weighing up. I wonder if people are able and feel confident to do this. Not everybody can read. So it's really important to say to people, is anybody willing to help out today? Can I just have a show of hands just to read a couple of sentences? So you invite whoever puts their hand up, say, okay, let's do it this way. So I'll just call you out when I need you to read a little bit, okay? And that's it. So you read out this section, and then you just say, and that's Anthea's life after stress, anxiety, depression, how she created an enterprise from hitting rock bottom. That's it. Next. Because each time this picture at the right hand side is going to be there, but it's so easy to start explaining here what the process is going to be, but the slides are going to do that for you. So then we go through the format and we explain what the format is, and then on the right hand side we just say, this is how it works. Your life after your title upon summarising your story, and your name goes into that box there, and that's just an example of how it's going to look. And the next part is the rest of the blueprint. So you explain the read, write, and publish. And in between this slide, the blueprint format, this is where the body changes, as we know. So it's literally, this is a blueprint format, read, write, and then the publish part is saying, and that's if you're, the only thing that's going to change, which entered between the brackets, your storybook compiled, and it's either triangle or the rectangle will change. And then the blueprint format, pause for thought. So literally this is just saying, don't concern yourself with being overcritical, any judgments or comparisons. This is just encouraging you. So that's the important part on that slide. And then the pause for thought. And here is an example of all those sections that we've just gone through. The book, the actual 10 reasons for writing your story, which is going to come next. The actual a poem, and then a story. So it could be Anthea's, it could be yours. So just a story. And then this page is what you'll email to the facilitator before the session. That just gives you an overview. So as you can see, you can't, the small print you can't enlarge it. It's just giving you an example of if you're 10 feet high, this is what it would look like. And these are the rest of the chapters. So you've got your introduction, and then you've got chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, and you read out what it says here in the bold. Because this is really helping to set the seed for when somebody then starts writing. So you write. So you're saying, in the meantime, whilst you're busy doing, doing versus being. So we talk about doing, or we talk about being. And that's just a little poem, and then your pause for thought there. Number 3, only you can tell your story. What do you have to offer this community? But claim your passion for serving humanity. Again, the words are there for a reason, and they're specific for a reason. So it's important to read those words out. And then it's saying, there's the picture. There's a bit more, which we're going to go through in the next couple of slides. A story, your story. Pursuit of happiness. This little diagram that many of us recognise. A story, your story. And status, how are you adapting to the way you earn? Because what you're doing with each word, like I said, you are setting up to help people to start planting the seed of, oh, right, okay. So the chapters become easier. So it's so important to read those sentence parts out. So then what you can say to them is, okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to go now to that section. Because again, this is the next section. So we're now into the book. So when you've done that last green, when you're here, this is the book. So it's like your story will replace my story. And this is the introduction to the book process of how it works. So that's the book. The first chapter is the 10 reasons for telling your story, which we're going to read out in a minute. And then the format goes like this. So that's how, just to help you to put it into, and then you jump the next slide, and there we go. There's the 10 reasons that we then share and ask people, those people that put their hands up, then you can say, okay, can you follow in this order? 1, 2, 3, and then you start 10 reasons for telling your life after story. Read, write, publish, an opportunity to write your story and empower others to do the same. And then you read out number 1, only you can tell your story. So you're the facilitator who's reading out that first line. So you're reading out the first bit, and then you're reading, only you can tell your story, because you've done that. So you're the one who's saying it to the audience that's there, okay? And then obviously that's a poem. And then you can either switch the screen off at this point if I'm not there to read out my story. But if I'm there, then offer me the opportunity to read it out. Just say, Anthea, would you like to read your story whilst you prepare yourself? Yeah, so it might be you just think, well, okay, I'm going to get my story ready. Or Anthea, would you like to, read the story? So if I read the story out, and then you read your story out, then what we're doing is we're demonstrating how this page works. So that's a really important part as well. If I'm there, then offer me the opportunity to read my story. Even offer me the opportunity to read out the poem bits that are relating to me, because that makes sense, really. I mean, obviously, if you read it yourself, that's fine. But if I'm not there, but if I am there, then it just helps. It helps you a little bit. And then, like you said, the next part, or like we said, the next part is, in the meantime, whilst you're busy doing how is your being, again, you read out that first line. So even if you're inviting people to read it out, in the meantime, whilst you're busy doing how is your being, are you looking for new ways of being or coping with life, stress, anxiety, and depression? You're not alone. If you're able to give something back by telling your story and are willing to commit time to learning skills, we welcome you, because you're saying that as the first person who's actually taken this process and is doing the process. So now you're able to offer that and say, do you know what, this is what we offer to people. So it just helps to, you're laying the foundations down for the next people to step into. So it's important for that. And then what you're doing is you're going down this, and you're, even if you're not reading all the chapters, what you're saying is you jump into, you're saying, okay, that's the process, how it works. There might not be anybody who's got any chapters. So you read out yours. And then you say, okay, the next chapter is in the meantime. And then you've got the including you formula. And then you have pursuit of happiness and status. Okay, so you can just flick through that. And what you're saying to people is, if they've signed up on the page, they're going to be getting these in reverse. So they will have status in their email, then it will be pursuit of happiness. So we go backwards, and we go backwards because it's about building confidence for them. So again, if you need to brush up on what it is, that's going on in the community, sign up for this Tell Your Story again to remind yourself of the process. And then you're able to know that what they are going to be getting, so that you're really clear, so there's no confusion. Because I will be saying to people that they will get the chapters in reversed first in order to build their confidence in terms of talking. Most people struggle to talk about themselves in this first chapter. They can give a very structured way of, because that's how I wrote it, I guess. But when they do it the other way around, there's something different about it. So the intention is that they write the first 5 chapters. When they come online, they start with the last one that they've written, and then they go down to the first one that they've written. So it doesn't matter. It's just that they've wrote it in a different way in order to be able to build their confidence. Most people can talk about status pretty quickly, because talking about themselves is a bit different. And then what you're doing is saying, so this is what we're going to be doing next time. I thank you for being here today. This is how it basically works. It's a case of well done, and then we send you the next parts of the process, which are a sense of well-being, awareness, awakening, change, money, and health. Thank you so much, and enjoy your writing. So you're closing out the session and making people really clear on what is next. So I thank you for watching this video. That's how it works. If you've got any questions, then do get back to me. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do these sharing on this online. So it's going to be a lot easier for everybody to be able to do that. So I'm working on that shortly. So yes, bear with me with that one. But if in the meantime, this is a Tell Your Story blueprint process. This is about creating a transition enterprise, which is what we're all doing right now. And I thank you so much for facilitating. I know that you are amazing, because everybody who comes to our community are, and I look forward to being of service. If you need any help, then just give me a shout. Bye for now.